Hello, and congratulations to to Damascus College on its wonderful celebration. My name is Frank Hennessy, a Christian brother, and I first came to St Paul's in the early 70s for 2 years. And it was an exciting venture for me to go into technical education because I went to school at a tech school, and I found that the very small school was a sense of great enthusiasm by kids, by parents, and a whole school community. There weren't all that many students, about 300, and from year 7 to 10. So I was thrust into teaching the scholarship classes in tech drawing and solid geometry, as well as a few other subjects. And after 2 years I was transferred away from St Paul's back to Melbourne, but I came back in 1983 as the principal of the school. When I was appointed principal, I was teaching in Geelong at the technical school down there, and I was the deputy principal down there, and I had never ever signed a cheque in my life. And I come to the school as principal of the school, having had no leadership development or leadership training. If you compare that to the principal today, he almost has to have a doctorate to be able to apply for a leadership role. So what the brothers did, they gave people opportunities, and the opportunity for me was that I'd finished my degree studies at Deakin University. So the next step was, all right, you've got some leadership skills, go and look after this school. So that was a challenge that was thrown to me in those days. What are we talking, 1983? But our confined space at St Paul's presented me as the principal with a huge difficulty, because the boys were confined. We were trying to increase the range of subjects. The development of woodwork and metalwork within the school, when the boys were making pencil cases in woodwork at year 7, and then making billiard tables at year 10, it showed the progress of the skills development of those kids. Our camping program took us down to Santa Monica down near Lawn, and the boys got the opportunities that would help them to develop their farming skills. They look after sheep, and in those days they had a shooting program where they'd go to the police station, get a licence, and be able to practice their shooting down on camp. And then, of course, the confines of the third of an acre of the school there in Lydiard Street, we then formed a committee of business people and parents to look at what we can do. Mid to late 80s that we looked at and took the opportunity to change our site from Lydiard Street out to Victoria Street, and we went from a third of an acre to 13 acres. And so Ballarat in July is not the most comfortable time in the year, so it was a wet day. It was Bart Mossop's idea, and apparently if you go into Middle Eastern history, it's called a caravan, and the special people were carried in a caravan, so it was lifted off the ground. It had a cover on it, so I was under this cover, and the kids said, no way are we going to do this. Not going to carry that bloke up the road. Anyway, they did. To show Ballarat that we were moving, each student carried a chair. And so the whole school was on the move. We were known as St Paul's, and you had Sacred Heart, and you had St Martin's and the Pines. Year 11 boys from the Victoria Street site came on to Damascus before the amalgamation took place. So there were challenges all the time for the staff. There were challenges all the time for the boys, and particularly for the parents. And the parents used to speak about our school, they didn't speak about the school. So to me that was a wonderful indication of the ownership that they had of the school at the time. They all had something to hang on to, something to inspire them. So St Paul, who was an extraordinary character in the early days of the church, then you're able to link the community to the history of the church, to the desire of the parents to bring up their kids as Catholics, give them opportunities. And the strong thing for me about Catholicism is it allows people to choose. For instance, calling the school Damascus gives it a link to the 2,000 years of Christianity. What are the values that the school hopes to have its group of people take on? And we're asking parents and pupils of Damascus to absorb and practice the values, the Christian values, that the school is promoting. And as you know, we have been building our Damascus community for 140 years. So in congratulating you again on the development of education over 140 years, we say we are Damascus.